Good afternoon guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing some putting. We're outside. I've tried to cut this grass as close to a green as I can. I think the stimp's around about 6, it's not the quickest. But what I want to go through today is something that I see that's huge in amateurs, and again you don't see in professionals. So it's one of the biggest things I see with amateurs is when they're putting they have a lot of lower body movement, so there's a lot of twisting from the waist. Again, the rest of the game, so in the full swing we are trying to really turn, load these hips up and then get through onto that left side. In putting we want our legs to be very quiet, so again if we can get a stable lower body I can rotate around my upper spine. If we can do that we can be more consistent, we can keep a nice rhythm and we can keep that putter on the same path over and over again. If I start to move my lower body, that is when I'll start to see the figure of 8 stroke, when I start to get missed strikes, when I start to get the ball starting on different lines. So the first thing I want to do today guys is show you with cap toe how it affects your stroke. So we're going to hit a few putts here where my lower body's moving and we're going to go through some numbers on cap toe. Okay, so first one up here. Okay, something very common I see. Big figure of 8 stroke and it comes off in a different direction. Okay, again here, so my hips are moving on the way back, hips are moving on the way through. Again, pretty consistent, not a centered strike. So let's have a look at those numbers. Okay, so if we're looking at those numbers now, so it's encouraged me to deal off the putter, it's encouraged me to hit down, and if we look at energy, we've lost nearly 11% of energy. So distance control is hard, strike's very different, and again all those numbers are in the red, so we're not going to be very accurate when we get on that putting green. Okay, but the biggest thing is if we watch the track, which is the path of the putter, if we watch this now, we can see how it comes back very far on the inside, and it has a little bit of a loop, comes through, and then finishes way to the left. So again, that putter's not working back and through on a slight arc, it's having a big reroute, and again that's going to be very hard to get a centered strike. Okay guys, so we've just seen the numbers there from a cap toe and it shows how we can't get a consistent stroke. Okay, so we're going to see figure of 8s, we're going to see missed strikes, and again we're going to be very hard with distance control, and it's going to bring in more 3 putts than it is 2 putts. Okay, again your chances of 1 putting are very hard. As soon as we get close, if we're even 1 degree out, we're going to start missing the hole. Okay, so it's making it very hard for us to be a consistent putter. We've seen this chair before, a bit of garden furniture, but it comes in handy. If you're indoors, all you need to do is be on a wall. Okay, so if you're in the bedroom or somewhere, get something where you can rest your bum on. And again here I'm going to line this putt up. It's not at the hole, but we're going to line it up. Okay, and again from here I'm going to have my backside touching here. If in the backstroke my bum starts to come off, I know I'm somebody who does this with the lower body. Okay, and again on the way through, if I finish here, I'm having a reference of keeping my lower body stable and not moving. Okay, so let's have a go at this now and then let's have a look at the numbers. What difference does that make? Okay, so bum's on there now, and again guys, I'm not sitting on it. Okay, I'm resting it on there, I'm in my normal posture, resting my bum on there and just making a normal stroke. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the numbers. Okay, so if we look at the numbers there, slightly de-lofted coming into the ball, path was out to the right, but again if we go onto the path we can see now how, if we bring it back, arcs a little bit on the way in, no real change, and then goes through. So again, not much of an arc on the way through. Okay, if we look, if we now look at the arc, so we're hitting slightly up on it, but the biggest thing is the energy. So my lower body's there, I can get that ball coming off closer to the centre of the face, closer to the sweet spot, and I only lost 0.2 of energy. Okay, so having that stable lower body is essential for us to get a good strike, which then helps with our pace, helps with our start line, and starts to get us holing more putts out onto the green. Okay, so if you haven't got a chair, if you're in the house, use a wall, you know, rest that on there, start to feel, okay, am I coming off on the backswing, am I coming off on the way through? This lower body, again, we should be feeling that my legs are pushing out. So feel like they're pushing out, you'll start to feel how your glutes and your bum is working, so your backside is doing some work. Again, we're not sitting back, Okay, we're just getting to our normal posture, activating these glutes and having a stable lower body. Okay, so again, when we're going to the putting green, another drill you can do, again, we can have 2 golf balls set up either side. Move the chair out. Again here, I've got to be, if I have any kind of movement and my putter's moving in all different directions, we're going to hit these 2 balls either side. You can do this with tees as well, you can make it as tight as possible, but again, I've got to feel like my legs are pushing out, my lower body's nice and stable, and I can just come through and make the putt. Okay guys, so give that a go guys. You know, it's all about lower body. If we can make that stronger, we can start to hold more putts, we can start to get your handicap down. Thanks for watching guys. Wednesday, we'll be back on the short game and we're going to be talking club selection. So I'll see you then.